Hi, my name is Vanessa. I am from Miami, Florida. I'm 37 years old and I currently live in Virginia. I recently had an explant and a lift 1 month ago. So I've been looking into getting an explant for the last 5 years, and that's because I was having a lot of issues with my body that no doctor could really find the answers to. And so I started doing my own research on breast implant illness, and I just wanted to get the implants out. I wanted to feel healthier again, but due to a lot of things just happening in life, it took me up till now to get them done. So really the motivation behind my procedure was for health purposes, and I didn't want to feel the weight literally anymore. So before I met Dr. Lampert, I had 3 other consultations, and there were a few girls that recommended Dr. Lampert to me because they had had successful explant and lifts. So the moment that I had a call with Dr. Lampert, I knew that this was the right fit for me. I didn't feel like a number. They listened to everything that I had to say. On top of that, I was out of state, so that was very important for me to feel like I was seen. They took their time on a virtual call, and I just knew that it was the right move for me to make, to see Dr. Lampert. So my biggest concerns before surgery were, just to be frank, was not waking up from anesthesia, and also if my body would be able to handle the anesthesia. I spoke to Dr. Lampert about that. We did, the lab work that I need to do. He was very thorough with explaining everything to me, and we even spoke with anesthesia, and we went ahead and got a clearance. So the day of surgery, I was very calm. I knew that I was in good hands, and I also have a 2-year-old son. So I wanted to make sure that I was in the hands of professionals that knew what they were doing, because I have a baby to go home to. I would say the hardest part of recovery was 2 things. So first was those drains. The drains were, it didn't hurt, but it was uncomfortable because you just feel like you have something, which you do, something attached to you, and you have to make sure that everything is flowing properly. So I did have help. My mom was amazing with helping me to make sure that the drains were not clogged. And thank God that there was a phone number that I could reach anyone at any time of the night or day. And when I did have a clogged drain, they immediately instructed us how to basically, help the drain flow properly. So I wasn't alone in that process. Someone was always readily available to answer any questions that I had. So the drains were tricky to manage for the first week. And then the other part is, again, I have a son and he's a toddler. He's very active, and not being able to lift more than 5 pounds right now has just been a challenge, but we've been able to manage those little issues here and there where he wants to be carried, and so we've gotten through that. So before surgery, I had these weird symptoms that were linked to autoimmune issues. One of them being dry mouth, another dry eyes, fatigue all the time, hair loss, there's a long list. But immediately after surgery, within 24 hours, my eyes and my mouth were not as dry. I would wake up in the middle of the night thirsty. Like I felt like I was in the desert. That's how thirsty it was. The other thing too is I can take deeper breaths, and that has been huge. I didn't even notice how my breathing had been impacted until after surgery, when I saw that I could take a deeper breath and it wasn't such a struggle for me. Dr. Lampert is so relatable. That's another reason why I chose to have my surgery with him, because he literally sits down with you, has his one-on-one, and it's like there's nobody else in the room that really matters except for the patient. So it was a great experience. He's funny. He also, talks about his family too, and you could really tell that we're not just a number for him. He really cares about what he does, because he knows that it doesn't just impact our lives, but it impacts our families' lives too. The staff at Dr. Lampert's office is also really amazing. They're very, I would say, service oriented. So, you come in, they offer you something to drink. Would you like some water or tea? One time I felt like so anxious before surgery, and I was like, do you have a soda? And they gave me a ginger ale, so they're very detail oriented. They're also very funny too. For me, sometimes humor helps with the anxiety that I was having prior to surgery, and they're just, again, relatable, they're available, and they're just great. I really enjoyed having my one-on-one here at the center versus being in a hospital setting. It was very important for my family to have a place too where they could be seen and also heard in case of any questions that they had, instead of having to wait in a setting where there were many other people. So for me, having my surgery in Dr. Lampert's ambulatory center, that was a huge benefit for us. I think my surgery was at like 7 or 8 a.m. So I had to come in really early. And that day my brother drove me in. The nurse was already waiting at the door for us, and we just walked right in, and everything happened to go pretty fast but smooth. And I couldn't believe that, oh my goodness, the day has come for my surgery. So everything was just so smooth, everything was ready, everyone had smiles on their faces. And right as the anesthesia was hitting me, I'm like, oh wait, this is happening right now. So the pre-op part of the surgery it just seemed seamless. 2 weeks after my surgery, I posted that I had done my procedure on Instagram. And I had a bunch of women that were asking me, how did you get there? Why did you get there? And who is the doctor? And so I shared a bit of my story, and I will continue to recommend Dr. Lampert and his team to anyone. If I could shout it from the mountains, I would. And it's just been such a great experience here with everyone. Everyone is real. It's not this like made up, hey, let's, do the surgery and forget about you. No, like he wants to continue to see you get better. He listens, he cares. And for me, that is just so important. I would definitely recommend anyone to look into Dr. Lampert's overall services, because it really was a game changer for me. And I'm feeling 10 times better.